Pastor Edwin Datson calls this Nasi Thanksgiving. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning here in the capital. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on 3FM Sunrise. Thank you for starting your day with us. My name is Noble Crosby, and Johnny Hughes will join you shortly. So will Helena Piampafo and William Asiedu Dante. Welcome again to Sunrise, the best breakfast show in the capital, in the nation, and the entire world. It's a packed day this morning. Stay with us here from 6 to 10 as we talk about national issues. On the table this morning will be a big question that is Ghana infiltrated. We're talking about the arrest of some persons in support of Russia's Wagner Group. We're also talking about some health concerns, Apollo conjunctivitis. We'll be talking about its symptoms, the causes, treatment, and myths behind its contraction. And all importantly, the 3FM AfroConnect. But first, let's touch base with Felicity Ahiafenyo from the Ghana Met Agency to tell us what the weather will be like. Will it be rainy, wet, humid, dry, frigid, foggy, windy, stormy, breezy? Felicity, good morning to you. How are you doing?
Good morning, Crosby. I am better today than yesterday. What about you?
Do very well, thank you. Thanks for asking. But what's the weather like today?
Yeah, this morning, currently we are having misty and fog patches over the middle sector, those around Takwa, Seshibekwai, Tetekrachi, Sunyani, Kintampo, Gosu, Techima, and they are having misty conditions. Then part of Axi, Takradi, and then Kufuridia and Ho, they are all in misty conditions, but it's not too thick. Visibility is expected to range between 5,000 and 8,000 meters. For Greater Accra, currently it's cloudy. We are expecting the cloudiness to persist during the afternoon hours, and then by evening we expect the amount to reduce. So we are expecting partly cloudy by evening. In terms of rain, we are expecting some 40% chance of thunderstorms with rain over Kintampo, Koforidia, Kimoda, Kumasi, Obuasi, Takwa, and its environs. And then by evening we expect the system to drift over to those of us in Gosu, Kintampo, Sunyani, Techimine, and part of Yendi and Tamale. For temperatures for today, we are expected to range between 29 and 33 degrees Celsius. If you are in Greater Accra, it will also be 29. If you are in Ho, Koforidia, Kumasi, it will also be 31. If you are in Narelogo, Bolgatanga, Navrongo, where its environs, yours will be 33 degrees Celsius. In terms of the state of the sea, though today is not allowed for them to do fishing activities, we expect the state to be rough. So should in case something happen and they needed to go, they should be mindful that the state is still rough. For the Volta Lake this morning, the cloudy situation is still expected. By late afternoon, we expect isolated cases of thunderstorms formation over their area fall into the Kwame Danso area, so they have to be careful. Once the clouds are gathering and it's becoming darker, the wind starts speaking, they should just pack off and then go home. So this is how the Tuesday will be for us in terms of weather.
Felicity, thank you so much for those updates. But Felicity, have you heard about AfroConnect on 3FM?
Come again?
I'm asking you about 3FM's AfroConnect. Do you know about it?
Yes, I think I've ever listened to it a little bit, but not too much.
Great. Tell us about the weather situation or what the weather will be like on Thursday, so we prepare ourselves.
The Thursday, we are expecting rain and thunder. The impact is going to be moderate. For Greater Accra, we are expecting it to be just a 40% chance. So it's not going to be anything that will disrupt the program on Thursday, but if there will be, we will definitely let you know. But from yesterday's chart that we look out on for Thursday, the active spot will be over the middle and the northern sector, and slightly north of the coastline. So those of us close to the sea, who will have cloudiness with light rain or drizzle, and some places will have moderate rain.
Felicity, thank you. That's all we wanted to hear. That nothing will disrupt the 3FM AfriConnect, which is here. Thank you so much.
Nothing will disrupt it. Even if the rain comes, it's blessing.
Thank you. It appears that William Asiedu is in high spirits. Good morning to you, William. How are you doing?
How are you doing?
I do very well, thank you. Thanks for asking. What's up with you? You're happy this morning? You
Charlie, I'm alive, man.
That's all that matters.
I'm alive,
That's
Charlie. Because
indeed.
the way things are going, if you're not happy,
If you're not happy, you should happy yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing, because if you let the pressure come, you do very, very, very unsavory things. And look at this story telling me that a 22-year-old boy has killed the house owner. He's supposed to be a houseboy.
Kills madam
for a car.
Charlie.
If you hear stories like this and you realize that
it's not going well at all. It's not going well at all. Anyways, let's get into the headlines of the papers.
So this morning, the Daily Guide is reporting, I killed my madam. Houseboy admits. Aguna West NDC MPP in bloody clash, and Julius Debra changes gear in Mahama running mate bid. Still on the front page of the Daily Guide, EC registered 182,831 voters in 6 days, and NAM1 faces court today. That's on the front page of the Daily Guide. The Hawk. That's a new one there. The Hawk. Factual stories worth knowing. That's its mantra. Ghana International Bank correct VP citizenship record. Kennedy Japan stance says MPP lost 2024 election in 2022. That's way back. Henry throws gauntlets as Moses Abor steps up before sunset. We'll get into the details of that story. Minerals Commission shifts Western Region Director in shake-up. And I'm egged by claims of partisan judges. That's according to CJ Sophia Ekufo, that's former Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. Crosby.
I'll take you to the front page of the Daily Graphic, and it comes with a lot of stories. First is Jean Mensa, the EC chairperson. The story says limited voters registration. EC revises the target. Is on page 16 of the newspaper. The EC has been resolute on its position to limit the exercise to only its district offices, and a lot of stakeholders have been complaining about future challenges that this registration will cause, particularly in 2024 in the general elections, because, William, they are likely to go there with the intention to vote, but the district office of the Electoral Commission cannot be a voting center. We get into the details of the story later. There's also beware of scammers. GTech cautions mature student. Comes to the picture of Professor Ahmed Abdullahi Jinapo. Scammers are scamming mature students. There's also maintained standard bearer rule for reliable information, UBA2 Daily Graphic. And on the front page, the big story, police promotions, 40 chief inspectors sue the IGP. comes with a picture of Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, the Inspector General of the Ghana Police Service. I'll take you to the back page of the paper, where Chief Imam Watari Ambassador inaugurates Learning Center. Dolly Bridge collapse diverts Bole Wa traffic center spread, says plans underway to manufacture automotive components. Trade Minister is saying there's caregivers urged to treat patients as major stakeholders and resist temptation to borrow after debt restructuring exercise. The Ghanaian Times newspaper says EC captures 182,831 nationwide in 6 days as it parries voter suppression allegation. It says, I'm not suppressing any voter. So far as you can go and register with a guarantor, you can transport your guarantor to the district office of the Electoral Commission to register. Also, no uncertainty about the 13th African Games, LOC to host competition, March 8 to 23. Dr. Fososari is saying, and Dolly Bridge linking while Kumasi washed away. Passengers are stranded. The back page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper says that mining companies urge to deepen cooperation with host communities, and 72 UPSHS students receive HOSA bronze and silver awards. Center spread of the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Environmental advocates mark World Cleanup Day. Architects sensitize communities' assemblies to looming dangers of improper layouts. EC captures that number 182,831 nationwide in 6 days. Plus, EPA Minerals Commission must ensure effective monitoring. These are the stories that dailies are.
There's
reporting.
a third one here. The business analyst Jean Mensah grabs top award for ensuring accountability in managing EC funds. Demand for US dollar continues to outstrip supply as CD loses 0.43 value to American greenback. That's the dollar. EC not seeking to disenfranchise eligible voters. That's according to Jean Mensah. And TV3's Portia Gabo receives 50,000 Ghana cedis cash prize from GJA for winning Journalist of the Year. And I'm happy to hear this morning.
This morning, I want to specifically say good morning to Portia Gabo. Portia Gabo, good morning. Good morning to you wherever you are, and good morning again. We'll see you in the newsroom. Well, that's some congratulatory message to Portia Gabo there. But there's a rather, I don't know whether to call it interesting story. The 40 chief inspectors, you and the Inspector General of Police, William. And it's all coming, if you like, as a result of the fallout from the lead IGP tape that the Adult Committee of Parliament is investigating. And these are some of the appendages of the conversation, William.
I think earlier there had been some other lawsuits in respect of, I think, some 82 officers.
Yeah.
And this current story is coming on the back of that one. And that I'm beginning to suspect that these were the issues that the COP, Alex Mensah and co were referring to when they said there was some disquiet among the officers in the police service. And the IGP was also referring to the fact that, look, a lot of the reasons why he was promoted very fast.
Yeah.
If you listen to his accounts, that was the standard, or those were the procedures then. But it looks like they've changed them since he came, and so these officers are saying that, look, we have gone to school, we've gotten some degrees, and per the police administration's own standards, we are supposed to be promoted. And so if the IGP hasn't done that, he was referring to a certain rule, or if you like, principle that is no more in existence. But he's the IGP. He can make a representation to the police council and get this done, so that we wouldn't have about 120 of your men taking you to court. You cannot tell me that. It is all well in the police service, as he kept saying before.
Yes,
the committee.
COP Mensah was
Exactly.
saying that he's being the worst IGP. I think these are
some of the reasons.
issues. It may not necessarily be typical policing issues for the citizenry, but for the police administration itself, these are some concerns that may be coming. But the reliefs that these 40 officers are seeking to get is that an order from the court directed at the defendants, especially the IGP and POMAB, to promote them in line with the special amnesty granted to other police officers. Again, they're also seeking an order for the defendants to grant them direct entry to the police academy unreservedly. They also want an order for the IGP and POMAP to restore the lost income due to the plaintiffs as a result of the first and second defendants. We're talking about the IGP and POMAP. Their action of not promoting the plaintiffs under the special amnesty. This will be an interesting subject for the court to sit on, and then it would possibly inform future decisions and happenings in the police service. As it stands, there's a lot of disquiet in the police service.
Yeah, the most interesting thing is the use of the word amnesty. I'm wondering how somebody could sue based on amnesty. But of course, we also look at discrimination and the use of discretion, because what I had heard from the IGP and from what I'm hearing from these officers, it is quite clear that the existing protocols under which the IGP was promoted himself are no more in existence. And so they are using some amnesty to do it for others. So if you've done that for others using amnesty, it is our time and our turn for you to also use amnesty. So I'm wondering why it is not happening. But maybe, let's test it in court, because I'm thinking that if it's amnesty, then it is not, as we say on the street, it's not by force.
Yes. So as part of the defense, the IGP says that before a police officer could become a senior officer, the officer would have to pass a competitive examination to gain admission to the police academy. That's one. Or be given direct entry into the academy by a special recommendation by the police council in line with the police regulations. And these are some issues that...
So is this to suggest that those exams have not been held? And if they've been held, are these officers, have they sat and failed? But because they are relying on their, their degrees. They're just relying on their degrees. So if the IGP is saying that beyond the degrees, they should be given a certain aptitude test, if you like. Then I don't know, that's where the problem is, because it's an official pardon they are asking for. But can they force a pardon? That's also very interesting.
The concerns that these 40 police officers are raising, they are linking it to the IGP also benefiting from
exactly
the same
point
challenges
but the IGP made the point that at the time that was what was.
But now it has changed.
Yes, that's, if you like, that principle, that rule has been scrapped. And they are saying that, we know that it has been scrapped, but use official pardon to push us in. But you sue somebody or an institution and force them to grant amnesty. That's what.
So in the defense of the IGP's lawyers responding to the writ said the promotion of a senior officer in the police service was not solely based on higher academic qualification. So it is also based on competence, hard work, commitment, and dedication to the service, exhibition of high level of professionalism and conduct. So all of these are factors that should be looked at.
The challenge, if the lawyers are coming this way, they will be making more trouble for the IGP, because the IGP was on TV saying that he rose very fast. When he chatted, he rose very fast. When he did O&A level, he rose very fast. Was he talking about competence? He himself was saying within 1 year or two, he rose to this. So this is not a time for you to come and be doing this. Then when people say that there's disquiet or people are not happy with you in the police service, then you come and be referring to your officers, The men on the ground are not happy with him. Because it's not just about the officers. As for the officers, they are sitting there behind you, showing that they are with you. But the allegations that the men on the ground are not happy because you are not allowing them to also enter the officer rank. And that's what they are saying.
Anyways, the Kumasi High Court will look at this. It's our job to talk about it, but the court will make the final determination on this development. The Electoral Commission is in the news again. Yesterday, the chairperson of the commission held a press conference where, amongst other things, she spoke about the call by the minority, the NDC, that the Electoral Commission was intentionally transporting faulty gadgets to the NDC stronghold. So the EC chairperson says that is entirely false, and it is also not disenfranchising any voter. It is sticking with its desire to hold the registration exercise at its district offices. A lot of questions and concerns have been posed to the EC about its posture. It appears as though, William, that the commission and its representatives, the chairperson, deputy chairs, and all of that, they are not budging under the pressure.
But what were we expecting the EC chair to come and say yesterday? I mean, she was coming to say that, look, we didn't intentionally, I was expecting her to say same, that we didn't intentionally carry 40 gadgets to anybody's stronghold. It just happened that it happened.
And then they've been replaced.
Yes, and then the fact that the service of the injunction summons came, a day before doing look, she is saying that, but she is also aware that people were talking against what they are doing way before the court injunction. So if people went to court a day before it started or just when it started, for me, it is not the issue. And she can't make any big issue out of that. The issue is that people have been talking about it long before you started. You didn't listen. So they went to court because they thought just talking would let you know.
But to cut to the commission some slack, William. I mean, it was a Friday. And then the Friday when the EC was beginning the exercise the next Tuesday. So a lot of groundwork was ongoing. So you didn't have, you should not expect it to be easy to get the persons mentioned in the application to receive the application. They only got it on Wednesday according to the commission.
No, I'm not contesting that. I'm contesting the fact that she said the people who sued waited a day before or just when they were beginning the exercise. And I'm saying that they started talking, you were not listening. They started talking months, weeks. Yeah, the NDC was making, even the political parties that come together to plead with you to listen to them.
Yeah.
Because the point is that you've registered 182,000 plus. That's fine within 6 days. How about those who are still not able to do the registration? And you're now saying that you're going to mop up and even continue for 6 months. What happens to those who want to register and vote in the district level elections? So the immediate election ahead of us is the district level election. That's why people are even thinking that you are prioritizing the national elections over the district elections because you are thinking of mopping up and giving everybody a card in next year in 6 months or over a 6 month period to enable them to do what? To vote in the national election. We are saying that, look, there's one coming up shortly. Open it up. Let's go to the electoral areas rather than your district offices only so that we can get the cards to vote. Because now people don't just need the voter ID card to go and do bank transactions and other things because we have the Ghana card. Now, genuinely, people want to vote because people are becoming more politically conscious.
Yes, especially the young ones. The ones
and you cannot disenfranchise them.
Yeah.
That's the point we are making. So all that was said at the press conference, what's the bottom line? The bottom line is that give us a voter ID card. Let's vote. That one is guaranteed the Constitution of the Republic.
Two issues here that, Willie, I want us to look at. So on the back of the concerns you're raising, the EC's, I don't know whether to call it stubbornness or hard-earedness. It is deciding. Now it is revising its target downwards. You remember they had a target of over 1,350,000. Now it says it is also only looking at somewhere 50% of that number by the end of the 21-day exercise, which started on Tuesday, September 12. When it is now as though the EC is beginning to realize that, first of all, the district officers I decided to let the people register at cannot give me the target I'm expecting to get. And then it still does not want to further, decentralize the process. So it will then, at this situation, reduce the target so that it fits in line with its position to limit it to the district officers. There's also the concern by the NIA that as now that we're talking, the EC has not made any official application to the NIA to tap into its database. And then if we're trying to run one system to digitalize everything, the Ghana card conversation, why has it been difficult for the Electoral Commission to want to tap into the database of the NIA? And you would agree with me that it will make the entire process seamless.
I'm just wondering why the Electoral Commission sat and thought that they would use their district offices only and achieve a target of 1 million plus. I mean, how were they thinking and what were they thinking? There are some things that are so obvious. So, per what we just read, if that's what the case is and that's what they are saying, I find it quite interesting and absurd because at the end of the day, you know there are some things that everybody sees, and then the EC only refuses to see.
They can't see. It's not that
No, because everybody is seeing that what you are doing won't work. And we have told you that what you do during elections, you go down to the electoral areas, and even that you have challenges.
Yeah.
Because of what the areas we call overseas areas, you have to travel across water bodies using pontoons and stuff like that. The country is not that developed for you to have highways that will lead to all the nooks and crannies
parts of the country.
Yes,
yeah.
but everybody in this country who is a citizen of the republic deserves to have the right to vote. That is a guaranteed right. It is not per somebody's discretion. So for you to even assume that you were going to do 1 million plus with this strategy was something that, to be fair and to be square, was just absurd. And now you are sitting and saying you are going to revise.
So now it's looking at 52%.
No, but how do you
of that
revise at whose expense? I'm just hoping that the court cases that are before the honorable courts will go ahead for the right things to be done. Because if they are talking about financial or logistical constraints, they knew this thing was going to happen.
Oh, but they just won an award for managing the resources.
That's exactly the point. And I'm just saying, what would be the reason why they are revising it from 1 million to half of it? If the EC chair is being awarded, as you said, on the front page of the Analyst for ensuring accountability in managing EC funds, well, maybe the little that they are managing, but they don't have enough to cover the whole country. But that cannot be said, because the democracy that we are running, we know is expensive.
Yeah.
But this is where the government, the executives should also be up and doing and making sure the monies are going to the right places and not under people's beds.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Because if the EC is giving the money, would they have? You see, the last election we had, about 8 people lost their lives. And even this registration, just registering to get the voter ID, we're hearing about clashes in some parts of the.
Even in Accra, people fought.
In
people
Boko.
were robbed.
Why does that happen with us as black people, as Ghanaians, and as Africans? Just register to go and vote. You won't plan ahead. Then you squeeze the whole thing to only your district offices for people to get frustrated and begin to fight. This cannot continue. This must not be entertained. And anybody doing this must not be patted on the back. But what they are doing is just not on. The EC must know that what they are doing, it borders on people's fundamental inveterate right. It is rooted in the Constitution of the Republic.
You said the EC must know. Why? You don't think they know? They
No.
know the thing.
But what else can one say?
If they don't mind you, don't mind you.
And it is sad. It is sad that when we had Charlotte Osei, we had this posture, and now we have Jim Mensah, we are having this posture. We've had EC chairs before. We've had people who headed, that office before, and it has not always been like this. So please, they should just spare us this.
Well, Professor Jampo, the political scientist, says from 1992, all electoral commissioners in the country, they have decided not to engender trust in the commission within the public, and it appears as though it is something we'll have to battle with for long. My other concern, William, briefly before we make way for the man with the sharpest teeth in the entire continent to bite, is now what more can the court do? You understand? And what does the law say in the phase of the EC receiving the contempt application, although it has begun the exercise already? Will it now be for the court to tell the Electoral Commission what to do? And this is a posture that the court will not be wholeheartedly wanting to embrace. The Electoral Commission, an independent body on its own, and then the court also being it's not nice.
The courts have the right to ensure, when it comes to the independence of anybody, any institution, the courts have the right to protect the people of the republic. That's why we have the courts. Other than that, we'll be singing and be talking as the ECs, we are independent. No, independence ends somewhere. You cannot be. No, I mean, your independence ends at the